present perfect tense in Hindi. In this class, my goal is to go over the past perfect tense in Hindi. So we'll start with the basic sentence structures, the situations where you will be using past perfect tense, and we'll practice some sample sentences. Okay. If you have completed the previous two classes, this will be a smooth sail for you. Okay. If not, another refresher to learn about how the perfect tense works in Hindi. So a past perfect tense you use for all the actions that you or that got completed in the past, as the name itself implies. An example for that would be I had gone to India. Okay, and something like had I had played I had played. Okay, these are some sample sentences that you'll be writing in past perfect tense. Now, how do you say these sentences in Hindi, and what are some of the rules to say these sentences in Hindi? That will be our focus. Now, for some of you who remember, in the past we covered past indefinite tense. Okay, past indefinite tense, where we discussed about how important it is for you to know whether the underlying verb is transitive or intransitive. If the verb is transitive, such as I, such as I ate. Okay, we learned about how it is eat is a transitive verb, where there is a receiving object that is receiving an action. Okay, so that's transitive. So the fundamental thing I'm trying to say is in order to learn past perfect, you have to learn past indefinite. Okay, so I'm going to take one example or two examples of past indefinite, one from transitive word, one for intransitive verb, to talk to you about what are the rules to say the same sentences in past perfect. Okay, so first was I ate, and second one I'm going to use is I went, and that's intransitive word. Okay, I went, you will say I went where? Basically, I went to India, I went to Japan. So for intransitive verb, the rules are pretty simple if you want to say the sentence in past perfect. At the end, you will say exactly the same way, but at the end, you will put tha for masculine singular. Okay, the for masculine plural, thi for feminine singular, and thi with the nasalized sound for feminine plural. And let me illustrate with the help of example. I went, if you remember, in past indefinite you would simply say main gaya. Okay, in transitive verb, let me remove that, and you will say for I went main gaya. Okay, main gaya, that's what you will say in past indefinite, which is for Ashu Ji it would be main gaya, for Tisa Ji it would be main gayi, based on the gender of the subject. Okay, the same sentence, instead of I went, you want to say I had gone. Okay, I had gone. For me, for masculine singular, it would be main gaya tha. Okay, main gaya tha. And for you, Tisa Ji, if you don't mind unmuting yourself, it would be main gayi thi. Awesome, right? So you see, it would be your verb will get conjugated accordingly. So for me, it was main gaya tha, masculine singular. For Tisa Ji, it would be main gayi thi, right? I had gone. If it is like I had gone to Japan, I will say मैं जापान गया था, and तीसरा जी will say मैं जापान गई थी. Awesome, right? So as simple as that. So that's a simple rule to convert from past indefinite to past perfect. Okay. Just a quick note, Taraji, can you mute yourself? I don't have the control, so if you don't mind, just quickly mute yourself so we can continue to. And similarly, some examples that are given online by Laina ji. मैं store गई थी. I had gone to the store. Awesome, awesome, very good. Awesome. So let me increase the volume. I think that's I'll try to speak a little bit louder as well. Okay, so as you guys mentioned, it would be मैं store गई थी. Okay, let's keep going. So this example was for transitive verb. But what about intransitive verb? And we will practice more for transitive verb. Mostly you'll be seeing a lot more transitive verbs here. Now let's talk about other example, which is sorry. So the other one the ones we just did was intransitive verb, where we practice about I went. Okay, now let's talk about the transitive verb here. So just a quick note, you have to mute your mic, and you have to mute. Yeah. Could you mute yourself? And yeah, perfect. Okay, I ate, as you know, to eat it's a transitive. It's a transitive verb, which is to khana. Okay, to eat. And you probably have to mute yourself. I think there's some background noise coming. You have to, okay. Right, so I'll continue it, and then we'll see how this goes. So to eat is khana, which is the transitive verb, and for the rules for that is, as you know, if you're just saying I eat, for past indefinite it would be मैंने खाया. मैंने खाया. Okay, मैंने खाया. For example, in this case, the verb conjugation, you remove the na and you're putting ya, assuming that it's like the object is masculine singular. मैंने apple खाया. Okay. Now the rules in this case would be था. I think, and you have to probably control your volume just briefly. There's some background noise on your end. Let me see if I can control. Okay, perfect. Yeah. So there is some background noise, and would you mind, either muting it or maybe joining it from Facebook Live directly? Okay, perfect. Yeah, sorry about that. So let's continue with this example. Okay, so let's continue with this example. So I ate is to eat is khana, which is the transitive verb, and if you're simply saying it like I ate, it would be मैंने खाया. Okay, मैंने खाया. Now, for assuming that it's a masculine singular object, मैंने apple खाया. Okay. Now, if you have to say the same thing for past perfect, you will end it with था. मैंने apple खाया था. Okay. Now the difference here is like you're looking at the the gender of the object here as opposed to the subject. मैंने apple khaya tha. Okay, so now you're looking at masculine singular. Okay, second one is like for masculine plural, you can say simply the same thing. मैंने apples or सेब खाए थे. मैंने सेब खाए थे. Masculine plural. Okay, masculine plural. What about the other? Apple is considered masculine. Now, what about the the feminine one? मैंने strawberries. Strawberry is considered feminine, right? मैंने strawberry खाई. खाई, and you'll put थी at the end. Okay, मैंने strawberry खाई थी. I had eaten strawberries. What about plural? You will simply say मैंने strawberries खाई, and there is a nasalized sound here with the verb as well as with the ending खाई थी, and that's for your feminine plural. Okay, hopefully this makes sense. Okay, now for the rest of the class we'll be doing more and more practice of all the sentences now, which may include transitive verb or intransitive verb. I want you to test out on those concepts as well. So hopefully this makes sense. Again, in summary, to make your sentences in past perfect, all you will do is you will follow the past indefinite tense. You simply follow the past indefinite tense, and at the end you will put tha, the for masculine singular, masculine plural, thi and thi for feminine singular and feminine plural at the end. That's about it. If you can master this one, you've learned one more tense in your Hindi learning. Okay, so let's keep going and we'll do some more practices. And if there are any questions on this one, let me know and we can cover that. So this one, one more example that I'll give right now is I thought. Okay, I thought. Now we'll take simple steps, right? How will you say? First, we'll try this one, and if you will make it complicated, I had given a thought. I had given this a thought, or I had thought about it. I had thought about it. Okay, so let's see if you guys can think about how to say the same thing in Hindi. So Taraji, you want to give it a try? You have to unmute yourself and give it a try.
मैंने सोचा.
Okay, so break it down for us. To think is
सोचना.
okay, sochna. And how, help us break it down. I thought is मैंने
okay. सोचा.
मैंने सोचा. And you're putting ne in this with the subject. Why is that?
Because the सोचना is a transitive verb.
Okay. Okay, because sochna is transitive verb, you remove the you are putting ne with maine. What about socha? Verb is sochna. Why did you write just socha here?
Because of past tense.
Okay, because of past tense, you are conjugating the verb and you're removing na at the end and you're putting socha. Very good, right? मैंने सोचा. Now help me. How will you say the same thing in past perfect?
मैंने उस बारे में सोचा था.
Okay, awesome. About it would be मैंने उस बारे में या उसके बारे में. उसके बारे में सोचा था. Okay, मैंने उसके बारे में सोचा था. Awesome, great. So we'll continue to practice more. This is great. Can you think of some more examples that you would say in past perfect? No problem if you need time. We'll continue to practice and hopefully this will give you some more time to think about. What about I had written? I had written a book. How will you say this thing? So first of all, what is the verb here? Verb is to?
Likhna.
Likhna. Okay, to write is likhna. Awesome. Likhna. And how will you say if it is simple present perfect? I write.
मैं लिखता हूँ.
Okay, मैं लिखता हूँ for a guy. मैं लिखता हूँ.
मैं लिखती हूँ.
Okay, for a girl it would be मैं लिखती हूँ. Awesome. Okay, it could be मैं किताब लिखता हूँ for me and for you मैं किताब लिखती हूँ. What about in the past indefinite? I wrote a book. मैंने एक किताब लिखी. Okay, so मैंने एक किताब लिखी. What about, so you are saying it, what about me as a male? How will I say it?
You also will say मैंने एक किताब लिखी.
Okay, and why is that? Why is the changing verb is not getting conjugated based on who is saying it?
Because it's in past tense, so we must look at the object.
Okay.
Object is kitab.
Okay, so what about if it is a poem rather than a kitab? How will that ending change? मैंने एक
किताब
लिखी. Same thing. Okay, because trick question. What about a chapter, or like I'm just thinking like a easiest way to tell you a different. What about a chapter? मैंने एक chapter.
is masculine.
It's masculine, yeah.
So मैंने एक chapter लिखा.
Awesome. मैंने एक chapter लिखा. Okay, so now the same thing you have to say. So this one is present indefinite. This one is past indefinite. Now the next step is past perfect. How will you say that?
मैंने एक किताब लिखी थी.
Awesome. मैंने एक किताब लिखी थी. Because it's a kitab is feminine singular. Okay. What about like you want to make it a little bit fancy and you want to say many years ago I had written a book. Many years ago.
कई साल पहले.
Awesome.
कई साल पहले मैंने एक किताब लिखी थी.
Awesome, right? So many years ago, कई साल पहले और बहुत साल पहले मैंने एक किताब लिखी थी. Great, awesome. So let me see if there are any questions and how our people or friends are doing online on Facebook. So Cynthia ji is saying exactly the same thing. मैंने एक किताब लिखी थी. And okay, let's see if there are any more questions. Okay, awesome. Okay, so there are no questions online, so we'll continue to practice. This time I'm gonna make it open for everyone. The next example, so all of you can participate. So the next one I have is I had said. Okay. Okay. So next one I have is first I have is this one, I said, and which is basically to help you practice again And the second one I had said. Your task is to, or let me make three actually, so that way you can do the transition easily and it will help you. So I say, okay, I say, and then I said, and the third one is I had said. Your goal is to say all of them in Hindi. Okay, this one is present perfect, present indefinite. This one is past indefinite. And third one is, as you know, is past perfect. So take your time, all of you, and write it down. And if there are any questions, I'll help out. Hopefully, this should be a helpful exercise, and which will kind of help you think. Which will help you think about it in Hindi. You can say I say or I speak. Okay, so give it a try. As I said, there is no negative marking, so you have to just give it a try. Okay. Tisa ji, what do you think? You can unmute yourself and give it a try. First one. I think your voice is very low, so try coming a bit close. Okay, very good. मैं कहती हूँ. Okay, so first one is मैं कहती हूँ. Okay, that's the first one. मैं कहती हूँ. What about the second one? I said would be. Okay, it would be मैंने कहा. Okay, the verb, underlying verb here is कहना. To say is कहना. Okay, and in the past you remove the na and you put मैंने कहा. What about the third one? Awesome. Third one would be मैंने कहा था. मैंने कहा था. I had told you. Okay, I had said, I had told you. Now this is something, as a kid, whenever I made a lot of mistakes, even now, this is like a common thing my mom will say, like मैंने कहा था, like don't do this thing. मैंने कहा था, but you don't listen to me, and that's why such and such happened. Right? So just trying to give you the context. मैंने कहा था. Okay, I had, and as Priya ji also mentioned the same thing. मैंने कहा था, and Ash, exactly the same thing. मैंने कहा था. Okay, awesome. So I hope this helps. And now, so far we are trying to use the method, which is basically putting the tha, the, thi, and still requires you to understand the form of the verb, whether it's a transitive verb or intransitive verb. Now, just like we learned in present perfect, you can also use in the ending. In the present perfect, we said chuka hu, chuki hu, and chuke hain and chuki hain. We learned about it in the present, just like we learned about in the present perfect. You can use the same thing instead of chuka hu. You can say chuka tha for masculine singular. Okay, chuki hu, for singular, for feminine singular. Just like you can say chuki thi. Okay, for masculine plural, where you were using chuke hain, you can say chuke the. Okay, and similarly for feminine plural, instead of chuki hain, it would be chuki thi. Okay, so let's try to practice using this format. And I'm going to give you a simple example here. I had worked on it. Okay, I had worked on it. Okay, if the entire sentence is difficult, you can simply try it on this one. I had worked. Taraji, how will you say this? First try just the I had worked, and then you can put on it later on.
मैंने मैं काम कर चुका है ना मैं काम कर चुकी थी.
Awesome. मैं काम कर चुकी थी. Okay. So it takes some time because now you're not worrying about whether the verb is transitive or intransitive. You're simply, saying it in a simple way, right? So, you simply said मैं काम कर चुकी थी. Okay. मैं काम कर चुकी थी. What about I had worked on it?
उस पर
मैं उस पर और मैं इसके ऊपर काम कर चुकी थी. Okay. Awesome. So let's do some more practice on this one because we just learned about this format. How will you say I? And I'm going to keep this one so it's easier for you, for all of you. So what about we had met them? We had met them in, let's say, Goa. We had met them in Goa. So I want, regardless of the method, whether you want to use this or the one which we learned, I want all of you to tell me how will you say this in Hindi. Okay. So take your time and then we'll jump to the solutioning aspect of it. I had met them in Goa, or we had met them in Goa. Okay, so the question was, can you write down on it in Hindi? मैं, so I'm going to just write down here, मैं उसके ऊपर, I'm going to this is simple, मैं इसके ऊपर, on is ऊपर, it in this case is like, इसके, on the topic, इसके ऊपर काम, the verb is काम करना, right? So काम कर चुकी थी. Okay, मैं इसके ऊपर काम कर चुकी थी. Now back to this one. We had met them in Goa. All of you have to give it a try. How will you say this in Hindi? We had met them in Goa. Okay. Let's see. Taraji, you want to give it a try? Just tell a simple verb like sentence. We meet. How will you say we meet first? हम
मिलते हैं.
Awesome. हम मिलते हैं is we meet. हम मिलते. So I'm gonna erase it. So hopefully you have written it down. So let's. If the sentence is very simple, which is we meet, it would be हम मिलते हैं. We meet. Now what about we met?
मिला.
हम
मिले.
मिले. Awesome. हम मिले. Right? हम मिले. And why हम मिले? And why not ने?
Because we want to use should now.
Okay. No, I'm saying why we are not putting ne at the end. Why we are saying हम मिले. Why we are not saying हमने मिले. Someone can argue that why are you not saying हमने मिले?
Because the is intransitive, right?
Yes, that's right. It's an intransitive word. That's why there is no object receiving the action. So what you've done is you remove The verb is milna, so you remove the na and you put ending a, mile. Awesome. Now, how will you say we had met? Without chuke. Let's do the first method that we learned. Hum mile the. Okay, hum mile the. All you did was like you looked at the subject, which is masculine plural. You will say hum mile the. Okay, if it is feminine plural, if there's a lot of girls, how will you say hum? Awesome, hum mili thi. Awesome, hum mili thi. And we had met. Okay, so we'll think about this one later on. So this is the method number 1. Method number 1. What about method number 2 with the chuka hu, chuki hu, or in this case? So that's a trick, right? Give it one more time. Will? Chuki thi is clear, right? Chuki thi. That will be ending because it's if it is a feminine plural, it would be chuki thi. If it is a masculine plural, it would be chuke the. But what about the verb? Huh?
Mil chuki.
Awesome. Mil chuke the or mil chuki thi. And read it as mile, not mile. Okay. Now in this case, let me refresh everyone's memory. The base verb is milna. Okay. So when you're using this form, which is chuka hu, chuki hu, you will remove just the na. And base stem will still remain the same. So you're not conjugating the verb again. You're not saying hum mile chuke the. Okay. You will, or hum mili chuki thi. You're simply saying the base stem hum mil chuke the. Okay. Similarly, like the previous sentence where I wrote I had said, okay, मैंने कहा था, that was method number 1. If you were to say it in method number 2, you would say मैं कह चुका था, मैं कह चुका था. Okay, so कहना is the base verb, and you remove the na, base stem. Okay, and you will use मैं कह चुका था. Okay, or you can say मैं सोच चुका था, I had thought. Okay, so good one here, Ataraji. Now help me here. How will you say this one? We had met them in Goa. हम गोवा में उनसे मिल चुकी थी. So let me write down this one. हम in Goa would be गोवा में, them उनसे, okay, किसी से उनसे मिल चुकी थी, and that's basically for feminine plural. हम मिल चुकी थी, हम गोवा में उनसे मिल चुकी थी. What about this one, method number 1? हम मिली थी, how will this sentence change if you were to not use the chuka form? हम मिली थी, हम गोवा में Awesome, right? You will simply say हम गोवा में उनसे मिली थी, and there is a nasalized sound there in the end. हम गोवा में उनसे मिली थी. So stick with whichever you're more comfortable with. To me, my preference would be you start with the the chuka form first. Once you master it, then you can shift it into हम मिली थी. Okay. So let's practice more. I want to make sure that we do some more examples before we wrap up, so you master this form. Okay. So this time I'm going to do negative sentences. So far it's all affirmative. What about negative sentences written in past perfect tense? I had not made chai. So what about this, like something like this? I had not made chai. Okay, so we'll try both the methods on this one, and you know, so read it and see if it, you can write it the answers yourself. And in the meantime, let me see what our friends are saying on. So Anne is saying the same thing. हम उनको गोवा में मिले थे. You can say उनसे, Angie here. So you'll say मैं, हम उनसे गोवा में मिले थे. Okay. And Priya ji saying same thing. हम मिले थे. Awesome. Alright, so for this one, I had not made chai. So I will simply start with like I make chai. If because it's sometimes it can be hard directly to jump on this sentence, right? I make chai, and then I do not make chai. Then you can try about I did not make chai. And then you can, from there, you can say I had not made chai. So in my experience, if you go in this order, if you start thinking in this order, it'll be much smoother for you. You'll not be making any mistake. So Tesaji, why don't we try with this? I make chai. How will you say that in Hindi? मैं चाय बनाती हूँ. Okay, so you say मैं चाय बनाती हूँ. And to make, what is the verb here? To make is banana. Awesome. Okay. Now I do not make chai. How will you say? Awesome. मैं चाय नहीं बनाती हूँ. Okay. All you did was like you put नहीं after chai. मैं चाय नहीं बनाती हूँ. What about this one? I did not make chai. So it's a transitive word. So you will be putting ne with मैं. मैंने चाय नहीं. Yeah, so this one is tricky. In the end, you'll be putting ya, ye, or ye. Very good. मैंने चाय नहीं बनाई. You'll not be putting who at the end because it's past indefinite. Okay. And because chai is considered feminine singular, you will say मैंने चाय नहीं बनाई. बनाई. Okay. मैंने चाय नहीं बनाई. Okay. So let me write it down. Which one should I erase? Let me erase this one. Okay. So for this, or let me erase this also. You will say मैंने चाय नहीं बनाई. That's your past indefinite. Now past perfect would be मैंने चाय नहीं बनाई. Awesome. So if you're so two methods. Remember, either you say simply in the past indefinite मैंने चाय नहीं बनाई, and at the end you are putting थी. Awesome. मैंने चाय नहीं बनाई थी. Okay. चुका है चुकी ही method. If you want to say that one, you will say मैं चाय नहीं बना चुकी थी. Now this one, it's not so commonly said. That's why I want you to practice it. But then as soon as you master it, you shift on this the method that we have. मैंने चाय नहीं बनाई थी. Okay. This one is easier because you don't have to remember about transitive, intransitive, because you're always saying मैं regardless of you're not saying मैंने. Okay. Hope this makes sense. So great job there. We'll do one more negative example, and then and then we can wrap up today's class a bit early, so you get some more time back. Okay. And we can take questions also from everywhere. So I had not seen him for years. So I'll make it a bit. I'm making it a bit complicated. I had not seen him for years. Okay. Okay. I had not seen him for years. Okay. And मैंने चाय नहीं बनाई थी. Great. Okay. Awesome. So now, what about this one? For everyone, I had not seen him for years. So as simple as it may sound, you first start with I see him. Okay. I do not see him. Okay. From there you can say I did not see him, and then you can say I had not seen him, and then from there I had not seen him for years. Taraji, you want to give it a try? Okay. मैं उसको देखती हूँ. मैं उसको देखती हूँ. Okay. And we are using को here. Can you explain a bit more? मैं देखती हूँ is I see, but when we say I see him, you are using उसको. Basically, them is उनको, him is उसको, her is also उसको. Why को?
Because ko is because he is object and
Okay.
is ko.
Okay. So there is an even though it's not written, there is a implied there is a to here, and in Hindi the equivalent of to is ko. Awesome, right? So it's implied that there is a to him or to her. Okay. So मैं उसको देखती हूँ. Keep going. I do not see him.
मैं उसको नहीं देखती हूँ.
मैं उसको and then नहीं. मैं उसको नहीं देखती हूँ. What about this one? I did not see him.
मैं उसको नहीं देखा.
Try it again.
मैंने उसको नहीं देखा.
Awesome. मैंने उसको नहीं देखा. Okay, so you remove the na from the verb and you put देखा. मैंने उसको नहीं देखा. And because the verb is transitive, you're putting ne. Okay, what about this one? I had not seen him.
मैंने उसको नहीं देखा था.
मैंने उसको नहीं देखा था. What about this one? For years.
For years, बहुत साल तक.
Okay, मैंने उसको
बहुत साल तक नहीं देखा था.
Okay, मैंने उसको बहुत. So it's plural. You will say सालों से नहीं देखा था. तक is like till. Okay, मैंने उसको बहुत सालों तक नहीं देखा था. It's like till many years. You're saying for many years, so that's why it's like मैंने उसको बहुत सालों से नहीं देखा था. I had not seen him for years. Okay, so let's see if there are any questions from our friends. Okay, so Cynthia ji, even though grammatically it is correct, मैं उसको नहीं देख चुकी थी, but this is the place where it gets tricky. You start developing preferences, and that's when you start, even though grammatically it's absolutely correct, मैं उसको कई सालों से नहीं देख चुकी थी, you will still say मैं, that's the one that I have written on the board. You will say मैं उसको बहुत सालों से नहीं, मैंने उसको बहुत सालों से नहीं देखा था, मैंने, okay, मैंने उसको बहुत सालों से नहीं देखा था. It'll come with practice, and I'm gonna also give you all the methods and tell you what to use, what not to use. So, and it's correct, you'll just put ने, मैंने उसको नहीं देखा था. Okay, and because so in this case, because you'll be saying it, conjugating the verb based on the object here. Okay, hope this makes sense. If there are any questions, we can take any questions from you right now. Okay, if not, I hope this was useful session for you, and you learned another verb and a set of verbs and set of tenses, which is the past perfect tense. And any questions, post it on Facebook or send it to me on the WhatsApp group that we have, and we'll take it from there. I know the Google Hangout is sort of discontinued, but you can still join the interactive session. For that, you can do that through multiple ways. Either you can go to our page tiny.cc/Hindi University, and before the class you will see the link to join the live class. Or the other thing you can do is you can go to you can sign up on this mailing list, tinyurl.com/HindiUniv, and basically sign up on our mailing list. This is another way for you to kind of figure out how we are doing the live interactive class, because technology may change, but once I have your information, at least your mailing address, email address, basically you will get to know about how to join the class. Okay, with that in mind, please share the video if you liked it, and this way other people who are interested will be able to learn as well. Okay, have a good rest of the Sunday. We'll stop the Facebook live session, and we'll meet again. Okay.